Season 10 or X of the TTS League is now upon us, and I still don't know what I'm playing. So let's try and sort that out. Hey guys, Rich from Richmond Gaming. Hope everyone is doing fantastically well. And yes, Season 10 of the TTS League is upon us. I can't believe we're already at Season 10. I think Season 4 or 3 was my first ever one. I've played in most, I think, after that. Maybe missed one. But I always really enjoy them. They're always a great way of being able to try out new rosters, just guaranteeing yourself that daily or weekly game even, against someone who you may have never played before. My first game is going to be tomorrow evening, and it will be live streamed. Just firming up where that will be live streamed. It will either be on my own channel or I will be appearing on somebody else's. So once we've got that firmed up, I will let you know. And yeah, I am still really stuck with what I'm going to play with. My beloved Guardians have got some new toys. I can now play Brotherhood again. And I've also got another roster that I've been playing with that I'm really, really enjoying at the moment. And I'll share that with you guys as well. So as I say, I've got 3 rosters. And the nice thing is about the newer format of the TTS League is we're not locked in week by week. So as new characters get added to the mod, or if you just fancy a complete change up each week, you are not locked in anymore, so you can completely change your roster out, play a completely different affiliation, which I think is really, really nice. It gives people that flexibility to try different things. So yeah, let's start, and we'll jump over to TTS, and I'll take you through my first roster. Okay then, guys, so roster number 1, it is, of course, those lovable misfits themselves, the Guardians of the Galaxy, a roster that I am really, really having a lot of fun with at the moment. The additions of Agent Venom and Beta Ray Bill are very, very welcome. Some new blood for the Guardians roster is very, very nice. You will notice I have dropped Ronan out of the roster. I used to have 2 free spots. So basically, take Agent Venom and take Bill out, and then Winter Soldier as well was not in there previously. But I getting less and less value from Ronan, and as 4 threats go, compared to Gamora, as you can see in there, who's great at dishing out that up close and personal damage. Also with that assassin leap, she is absolutely amazing at dishing out that damage. But we've now also got obviously Agent Venom in there as well, another 4 threat, a little bit more of a gunline character, so with that range 4 heavy firepower, but he does bring a very nice tactics card, which we will talk about as well. He's also got a little bit more sort of in his repertoire, but he does suffer a little bit from needing that power. However, the leadership from Star-Lord means that he is going to be eking out some extra damage with that Clintar firepower, which again does mean that he's going to have more power to do the All-Star quarterback, to be able to do the web swing, and obviously we've got that Project Rebirth, being able to remove 1 special condition, which is really, really nice. So to run through the full roster then, we've obviously got Star-Lord, Peter Quill with his plucky attitude, 3 threat leader, which is one of the reasons that Guardians are in a really, really strong position at the moment. The other reason is the access to 2 affiliated 2 threats. So first of all, Rocket Raccoon, utterly amazing damage output for a 2 threat character, and as we'll see in a second, with Groot with that personal bodyguard, you can really mitigate a lot of damage that goes onto him. At the other side of things then, for the other 2 threat, we've got Nebula, up close and personal, very, very good damage. Nebula is, however, a little bit hampered in the fact that she can't score you any VPs, unless you've got another way of being able to score them in the game. But under the Guardians, we don't. However, amazing damage output. That shock sword assault, if you're attacking somebody and they're contesting or holding an objective token, 6 dice with full rerolls, and then being able to place yourself within 1 is very, very good. Also, she's got the cybernetic enhancements, so she always gets to roll 1 die in defense, which 332, it's kind of needed a little bit. And you also always get to remove 1 damage from your character at the start of the turn, obviously, if you've taken 1. So yeah, really, really like Nebula. The 3 threats then start off with the affiliated. So we do have Drax the Destroyer. I do really like Drax. He brings some much needed sort of displacement, if you like, or control to the Guardians roster. He's got the push on his headbutt, which is nice. But the big one that I like is that Titan Killer with the size 4 throw, and he does get an extra die there for every damage he has taken, which is really, really nice. And then he also has the Destroyer. So for 3 power, he can pick up an interactive terrain feature or enemy character, size 3 or less, and throw it short. It's only range 2, it's only short, but it's still pretty good. And he's a much tankier character than what his 332 stat line would give him. So with that, I can take it. It can be quite hard to take Drax down, and if you do, he can come back with a big old punch. We have then got Groot. Everyone's favourite tree, especially Rocket Raccoons. Just an absolute powerhouse in this game in terms of what he does. Not only with himself, but with the tactics card that he brings in the form of We Are Groot, one of the best, if not the best, healing card in the game. And with that living plant, even though he only has 2 energy defense, if your opponent doesn't manage to one-shot him, which with 7 health or 7 stamina isn't the easiest thing to do, he is going to be able to heal himself up very, very nicely. Also dishes out Root, which can be an absolute pain to some of the characters that are out there. Rounding out the 3 threats then, we do have Winter Soldier. He's just too good to not be taking at the moment in a Guardians roster, especially because he can help out with the affiliation as well. Not that we have much of a problem. Every single character, with the exception of Winter Soldier and Ghost Rider, are affiliated to the Guardians, so we don't have too much of a problem hitting that 51% mark. But look, he absolutely loves getting those rerolls with his assault rifle, and also if we double that up with the Fear Grips, and we're actually doing then a 5 dice range 5 assault rifle, it can be absolutely devastating for your opponent. And the sort of mix of got your back and then Ghost Rider's chip damage that you can do as well means that we've got constant damage being pumped out throughout every single round. 4 threats, we already mentioned them, but we've got Agent Venom, we've got Gamora. Don't sleep on Gamora, guys. She is still very, very good. That 333 stat line isn't the best, but people do have to be within range 3 to attack her, and if they're within range 2, she does get that martial prowess, which is nice. But that God Slayer, 6 attack dice. But the real kicker here is the deadliest woman in the galaxy. So just as an innate ability, for every wild that she rolls, she can change 1 die result to a hit. So her damage output is so high. And then Cosmic Assassin, this one catches people out quite a lot. It's got a pierce on there, which is nice, but it's got a guaranteed rapid strike, and the rapid strike must target another character within range 2 of the original target character and can be any distance from her. So you can go way past that range 3 that the attack is. So yeah, huge damage output. Combine what she's got here with some of the tactics cards that we've got, and yeah, very good. Rounding out the 4 threats then, we do have Beta Ray Bill, the newest addition to the Guardians of the Galaxy. We've been through his card before. Me and Quinn have already spoke about how much we absolutely love this character. He is very good. Super consistent with what he does, even more so when we give him that winging it token. Immeasurable strength to a size 4 terrain or enemy character, which is huge, especially in Guardians, where again we don't have access to too many throws. Reducing that damage with those Carbonite Cybernetics, which is really good, and also with the Honor Bound, with the shot advance there. So if he is taking damage, he can make an advance. And then Blessed by the All-Father, it's essentially, right, it's essentially an Asgardian, but, not quite. And then rounding out the roster is, of course, Ghost Rider, a.k.a. Jonathan Blaze. Works so well in the Guardians. Why does he work well? Well, there's lots of characters that we can move up before him. Usually we're 5, if not 6 wide with the Guardians of the Galaxy, even with Ghost Rider being a 5 threat. Get some early power onto Ghost Rider, especially if we can get it onto characters like Groot, who can heal it off, or Drax, who actually benefits from having a little bit of damage on him there. That's going to give him his Spirit of Vengeance, and what we're really going for there is being able to get up to 3 power on round 1, so we've got access to that Hell on Wheels, which once we've got that, we can get around the board so quickly, usually double tap a character with the Chains of Damnation, and more often than not be able to actually daze an enemy character round 1, which is really nice. Once he's in the mix, Wicked Judgment really gives your opponent something to think about as well. And if we combine that with his tactics card, Deal with the Devil, with the fact that we have two threat characters that we can bounce this off, especially if we can keep Rocket alive, being able to bring Ghost Rider back as a healthy Ghost Rider is very good indeed. On to the Crisis card. So we've got Cosmic Invasion, Black Order descends on Earth. With that large base, there's some really nice turn 0 plays. That means we can get that power onto Ghost Rider very early. We've got the Gamma Wave. It's gone down in points, but it's still really good for the Guardians. They can swarm the battlefield. They've got quite a lot of displacement on here now as well, so they can move people off points. And we've got some nice beam attacks and a couple of tactics cards that really benefit from this as well. Sword base, again, it's had quite a change. I really like this now. I want to keep the threat low when I'm playing Guardians because I can generally go wider than most of my opponents. We've also got Fear Grips. Look, the characters we've got in here are all about dishing out the damage and being able to have an extra dice, and the fact that we're no longer penalised by having multiple hammers in hand is really nice for these guys. Mutant Extremis. This works really well with Guardians. 6 Senator tokens where you can only hold one of them at a time. So if our opponent manages to daze our characters, they're probably not going to have enough characters to be able to pick up all 6, whereas we potentially can, or at least 5 of them. So really big opportunity scoring or scoring opportunity for us there. And then rounding things out is Research Station Attacked. Everyone down the middle really works well for the likes of Agent Venom with his beam attack. We've also got Gamora with that Cosmic Assassin. We've got Star-Lord, not Star-Lord, I do apologise. We've got Ghost Rider there with his Flames of Hell. Even things like Got Your Back, making sure everyone's in line or in range, can be really nice. Rounding out the roster then with the tactics cards, we've got Crew of the Milano, we've got the Deadly Duo, which the Groot and Rocket team up card, very good. Deal with the Devil that we've already spoke about. We've got Follow Me as one of our 2 restricted cards. We've got Lubble Misfits. I don't think you're really playing Guardians if you're not playing the Misfits. Marked for Death, which is a pretty good card. Shuts down some characters out there who have really high rerolls. So, likes of Doctor Strange, for example, or even Hulk. We can shut them down. We've got No Matter the Cost. This is really exclusively for Drax, but, it's there just in case we need it. Patch Up. We Are Groot, as I mentioned, amazing healing card. And then lastly, let's just put this here so we can see it properly, is the Foreign Assignment card with Agent Venom. I do have room in here to swap a couple of things out. I'm really hoping that Big Ray Bill has a really nice tactic card, maybe a team up card of something of the sort. So if he does, then we do have either Marked for Death or No Matter the Cost that we can swap out if we need to. So that's roster number 1 that I'm thinking about playing, and I've been having quite a lot of fun with that one so far. Really like Beta Ray Bill, but getting back to that old muscle memory of Guardians has been really nice. But let's take a look at roster number 2. Okay then guys, so this is my Brotherhood of Mutants roster. Start out with the two leaders, two very, very different leadership styles. We've got Freedom Force with Mystique. Basically, once per turn, after an allied character interacts with an extract objective token, once everything's resolved, you gain a power back. So it essentially means you get it for free, but you do need the power to be able to do that. Then they also have the Interact Secure Objective token. Basically, it's a little bit like the Honey Badger one, where she drops Jonathan the Unstoppable down. But you can only have one of these tokens in play as well. Anyone can do it, and if somebody else is then contests that objective, it removes the token. It's really nice. It's been nice being able to drop on a back point or something and know that you're going to get it round one. You do need the power for it, but again, because of that leadership ability that Mystique has got, it's very, very easy to do. On the other side, then, we've got the 3 threat of Mystique and then the 6 threat of Magneto. I absolutely love Magneto. I don't think he is anywhere near as good as he used to be with the old Crisis cards that we had in play. Look, he's still very, very good. He can still dish out a huge amount of damage. He's still got some really nice control if characters are outside of range 2 with that reverse polarity builder. And the fact that he's generating a huge amount of power for his team with that leadership from the ruins, where when a terrain feature is destroyed, after the effect is resolved, choose a number of allied characters equal to or less than the terrain feature's size. Each chosen character gains 1 power, and then it's 1 power per turn. But what's nice about that is that can be during your turn or your opponent's turn. So if your opponent destroys some terrain, you can also dish out some power there as well. I think I'm going to be leaning more toward Mystique at the moment. I just think she is the better fit with the current meta we're in at the moment. But I do like the option of having Magneto in there as well. Let's take a look then at the rest of the roster. One of the things Brotherhood have going for them is this boy here, Toad, aka Mortimer Toynbee, one of, if not the best 2-threat character in the game. Can interact from range 2, has got a guaranteed Incinerate on his spender, can push a character with it from range 3 with his builder, and he's got this really cool ability called Finders Keepers. Choose an allied character within 2 of this character, move 1 asset or civilian token the chosen character is holding to this character. This character is now holding that token. You can't go above the normal things, but Toad is a slippery little character. What he's great at is picking up a few objective tokens, using that hop, and then using his double move to walk away. Now, you can't use a double move because it is an action on this one, but even doing the hop and the move away can be really, really nice. And if he does take damage, he then does have that slippery where he can advance medium. And because it's wall crawler, that advanced medium, even though it's in advance, can be over a size 5 building should he so wish. Let's take a quick look at the other 3 threats then, because the ones that we've gone for are newer to the game, but we've gone through them before on the channel. But Blob, really, really nice character. Very, very tanky. Nothing can move the Blob apart from things that can move him, but that's fine. He's also got some throws in there as well, which does lean into the sort of Magneto playstyle, but also he's a 3 threat, so he does add into that, going that really wide with Mystique. He also brings a really nice team up tactics card in Leapfrog. After an allied Toad deals damage with an attack, the Blob and Toad may spend a power each to play this card. Blob gets to make a short advance and make a strike attack. Now, his strike attack is not amazing, but it's got a push on the back end of it on a wild. It's 5 dice, and he gets to make that short move as well, which is, his speed is one of the problems that the Blob has. So I really like that, and the fact that it is out of activation damage. So you might have already gone with the Blob. People think, oh, he's fine, he's not going to do anything now. And guess what? You've got the ability to be able to do that with him. Next up, we have got Pyro. St. John Allardyce. This guy just dishes out a huge amount of damage. Also dishes out some really, really nice conditions, as well as Incinerate. That Firewall ability, dishing out Root and Slow, can be absolutely hampering to a character that is relying on those superpowers to be able to do things. So yeah, really, really nice piece there. Moving on to the only or one of only two unaffiliated characters that we've got. Lockjaw. Why would I not take him? He's a great partner for Magneto. He's also got a throw on there as well, so it works really, really nicely with him. And look, he is a good boy. You guys know I love him. He's got to go in my Brotherhood roster. We only have a single 4-threat in this roster, and that is the new Sabretooth Apex Predator. This guy can dish out a huge amount of damage. He's got the healing factor 1. He's got Primal Pounce, which allows him to throw himself, which is a size 3. And then he's got Catch Run, which allows you to pick up an enemy character of size 3 or less and throw it medium. What I really like about this is if your opponent's running Brace for Impact, for example, a single character can get rid of that and do a follow-up throw or something like that, which is really, really nice. He also comes with a really nice new tactics card, Happy Birthday Runt. This has got the attack on there, Ambush. You spend 3 power, you get a 3/6 attack. Defending character cannot benefit from cover, and they also cannot use any reactive superpowers or reactive team tactics cards. And then for whatever reason, I think because he hates him, if this attacks James, Logan, or Howlett, so either version of the Wolverine, after this attack is resolved, the target character drops all objective tokens it is holding. And again, this can be used outside of Sabretooth's activation, which is really, really nice. Onto the 5 threats then, and we do have 2 of them. Very, very different jobs in the game. But first of all, the Juggernaut pairs really well with either Magneto or Mystique. I actually really like Juggernaut on his flip side because he gets the throw, but that Mystique or that Mystic defense does drop quite significantly. But look, Juggernaut is an absolute huge character in the game. Very, very difficult to take down with that nice punch, I think it's called, where you spend a power and reduce the amount of damage taken by 1 across the board on anything. So great objective holder. If he's outside of range on a gamma shot or something like that, he just doesn't care. And then that nothing stops the Juggernaut just allows this character to get around the board so quickly, even though he's only a short move. But on that big base, on that large base, he does have a huge amount of mobility in the game. He also comes with a very nice tactics card that again pairs up very nicely with Mystique. So Mystique has a power there called Shapeshifter. During this character's activation, enemy characters cannot use reactive superpowers or reactive team tactics cards. So that means that if we play Do You Know Who I Am, which is a size 4 throw of a character or terrain feature, long, which is very, very nice indeed. If we do that during Mystique's turn, it means that your opponent cannot brace for impact on there, which is very, very nice. Scarlet Witch, she is still an absolute powerhouse in this game, brings something very, very different to the Brotherhood in the form of mystic attacks. She's also got that telekinesis. She can dish out a huge amount of damage because of that Chosen of Chthon, and again has some really nice tactics cards, or one that I've brought with me that I really like, which is Whims of Chaos. Scarlet Witch may spend any number of power to play this card, and then basically choose 1 non-dazed character within range 3 for each power spent, and then for every allied character she's chosen, she can remove 1 damage or special condition that includes off herself, and then for each enemy character you can give them either Hex, Root or Incinerate. Once again, a card that can be played outside of Scarlet Witch's activation. So a really nice way of being able to keep a character alive, take a stagger off somebody before they activate, or just dish out and incinerate, for example, before we then jump into Mr. Pyro there. So some really, really nice play there. And then rounding out the roster, everyone's favourite Mad Titan. Oh, look, he's just very good, and he's very good in Brotherhood. He does some really nice things for them. Cosmic Portal is really, really good. He's also got the throws in there as well. Death Decree allows him to boost up the attacks. Once Toad is flipped, he's then doing a range 3 4 dice tongue lash if Thanos powers him up, which is just absolutely crazy. I have taken him with the Mind Gem, and I have taken him with the Reality Gem, hence why I only have one other restricted card. Let's take a look then at the Crisis cards that are going to play. Deadly Meteors. Roll dice equal to this character's energy defense. We've got okay energy defense. I just like this one now with Brotherhood. I like the setup of it. That eye map works really nice for them, I think. We've then got Demons Downtown. Look, we've got two really nice players with this one. First of all, we've got Mystique, who can leave that behind, and we've also got the Whims of Chaos, where we can actually remove those special conditions from our characters as well. And we've also got Pyro, who can take our opponent's Incinerate and, using that fire manipulation, dash it around the board, which is very, very nice indeed. We've got Gamma Wave. Once again, we like everybody in the middle because they're easier to kill. Next up, we've got Fear Grips. Again, no reason to not take this with Brotherhood. We are, fairly attrition focused, and if we can get one or even two of these onto somebody like a Magneto, his damage output is absolutely huge. Research Station, again, I like people down the middle. And then lastly is the Montesi formula. I really like this now for the Brotherhood of Mutants. We've got quite high Mystic defense across the characters that we've chosen. So Juggernaut is 5, Magneto is 6, Scarlet Witch is 4. And then I think we're sort of, 4s and 3s across the board then, really. I think maybe with the exception... no, 4s and 3s across the board. No, Blob. Blob is 2. So he's the only one that's sort of subpar. I just really like this now. It means that we've got some other options for characters like Toad, for example, who can pick up one of these and do some significant damage with it. Let's take a look then at the tactics cards. Asteroid M, pretty staple for any Brotherhood of Mutants roster. We've then got Deception, a great card that Mystique can play to get a character out of position closer to your team for you to be able to go in for the kill. Do You Know Who I Am? We've already spoke about. Follow Me as our one restricted card. I did have Patch Up in here at first, but I realised that if I am going to go slightly taller, I do want that play of a Magneto into a Scarlet Witch, for example, or whoever it may be. Happy Birthday Rump we've already discussed. Leapfrog we've already discussed. Magnetic Refraction, this is one of the things that Magneto brings to the game that is absolutely huge. Everyone within range 3 gains cover, and it's a recyclable card, so you can keep playing it every single turn. Power of the Cosmos. Am I going to use this card? I'm not entirely sure, but I love the idea of having an Area 3 attack and then being able to push characters away that were affected by it, especially on something like Gamma Wave. That can be absolutely devastating for your opponent. Pyrotechnics is a great card. Pyro may spend X power to play this card. For each power spent, choose an enemy character with the Incinerate special condition and within 3 of Pyro. Each chosen character drops 1 objective token it is holding and is pushed short away from Pyro. Once again, guys, this card does not have to be played during Pyro's activation, so really, really important to note. And then rounding it out is the Whims of Chaos, which we've already discussed. And there we go, guys. That is my Brotherhood of Mutants roster at the moment. Again, I'm really, really enjoying it. And the thing I like about this new format of the TTS League is we do get to make changes week on week if we find that something's just not working. So I'll play, a couple of games in between with it. And really what I'm doing with these rosters is we've got the MCP York Weekender in a few weeks, and I still don't know what I want to play. And it's probably going to be one of these three. I haven't shown you the third yet. I'm really excited about the third one. So let's do that, and let's jump in to roster number 3 and take a look at what we've got. Okay, guys, so this is the last of my rosters that I'm still tweaking at the moment. It's one that I'm having a lot of fun with, and it's really all about control of priority in a game, which, as we know, in this game is absolutely huge. But I do have the ability to go quite wide, and I've actually got 3 different affiliations that I can play in this roster. Now, one of them being Black Order, I'm probably never going to play, as I A, don't have Thanos, and B, don't have the leadership card for Corvus, so no real reason to play that. But let's take you through the roster itself then. So starting out with the 2 leaders that we can potentially use here. So first of all, we have Sin. Now, Sin is... her leadership's not great. Let's just keep it there. But what she does have is Partners in Crime, where at the end of her activation, if an ally Crossbones is within range 4, and he does not have an activated token, then Crossbones can then activate. She's also, she's not a bad character. That, automatic pistol is perfectly serviceable. Make it personal could be so much better if it was maybe just a guaranteed, but that follow-up being a mystic is quite nice. She's also backloaded, which is never great. You want a character to be front-loaded, not backloaded. But look, she does some okay work. And again, the real reason for me taking her is that we do get that Crossbones activation as well. Let's then take a look at the other leadership, which is Kingpin. I have never played Criminal Syndicate, but Criminal Syndicate are in a very, very good spot. Not as good as they were, but I've got that option to play Illicit Network should I wish. Kingpin is a beast of a character, and definitely not to be underestimated. But let's have a look at the rest, because actually we've got a core 17 here or should I say a core 14 where we can then flex up and down should we so wish. So what does that look like? Well, we've got Sin, we've got Crossbones, we have then got Corvus Glaive with that reality gem coming in at 5 threat there. And then we have got, obviously, Proxima Midnight. What's really nice about this is I can activate Sin into Crossbones. I can also activate Proxima Midnight into Corvus Glaive, or vice versa. And should I so wish, with Follow Me, I can do a chain of all 4 characters. From here, then, it's really easy, right? So we're on 14 threat. If we want to go to 16, we've got we've got Bullseye. 17, which is the most common in the game, is going to be Winter Soldier. And again, even at this, I get to choose: do I want to go down the route of Crimson, or do I go down the route of Cabal? And the major difference here is going to be whether or not we gain access to Dark Reign, which, to be brutally honest with you, with this configuration, isn't the best. Or do we want to go down the route of All According to Plan, which once again isn't the easiest to do with the characters that we've got, because only 2 characters can contribute towards that. But it's still quite fun to play. 19 threat looks really nice with MODOK in there as well. And once again, because MODOK is Cabal and Crimson, we get the option of either or, which is, really, really nice. Or we can just, play a much more, traditional game where we go down the route of something like this at 15, 17 becomes Bullseye, or 20 becomes Murdoch, something like that. So huge amount of flexibility. We can really play for the VPs in this game while still being able to do the attrition. It's a roster I've been really enjoying at the moment. I'm not entirely convinced how competitive it is, but I'm having fun. And I think ultimately that's the most important thing. Very much leaning towards this being the roster that I take to the York Weekender with me. But I have a potential plan of maybe even swapping out Kingpin for somebody like a Killmonger, who I think would work really, really well. And again, it's another 4-threat option that is both Cabal and Crimson affiliated. Tactics cards, we have got Infinity Formula. We've got a lot to spend power on here, so we're going to want that extra power. We've got Riot Sparks. DMAP, I think, is quite good for this, especially with all the long movement that we've got. And then super powered Scoundrels. We can go very wide if we need to, which, you know, is pretty damn good. Fear Grips, again, why would we not? It's probably my favourite extract. Spider Infected, again, we can go very, very wide. 5 characters, wide very, very easily. They can all hold a Spider Infected. And lastly is Montesi Formula, again, giving some more mystic access to some of these characters that do not have it. Tactics cards, we've got Aim Lackeys. We've got All According to Plan. We've got Dark Reign. We've got Deception. We've got Execute, great card for Corvus and Proxima. We've got Face Me. Idea behind this is that we can use a character that's got something like Stealth, and potentially we can have a character advance short and them still not be within range of us. So again, a little bit like Deception, where we've got play it a little bit better, or maybe we just want them to hit us in the face, so we can get some power or something like that. Who knows? We've got Follow Me in there, as I mentioned. We've got Illicit Tech. We've got Marked for Death. And then we've got Mission Objective. And there we go, guys. They are the 3 rosters that I'm currently toying with, currently playing around with, to use for both the TTS League, but also for any upcoming events I've got in this first half of 2023. Let me know down in the comment section below which one of those is your favourite. Which one do you think I should be taking to my first TTS game tomorrow evening, which, as I mentioned, it's going to be at 7 p.m. It will either be live on my channel or it will be live on somebody else's channel. I don't want to say any names yet, but we're just trying to finalise a couple of things. Guys, if you could leave a like on the video, that would be really appreciated. If you only if you liked the video, don't do it if you didn't. And if you do want to support the channel even further, we do have our Patreon up and running, where from as little as £1 a month, you can help support the channel and let us continue making these sorts of videos. Guys, if you haven't joined the Discord, you should also check that out as well. And as always, it leaves me with just enough time to say stay well, keep safe, and until next time, bye for now.